Are you absolutely sure you're not in a huge hole?
Yes. Yeah, but a little bit of a hole. There's no doubt about that. But when you look across the season, I don't think there's one team that hasn't had their moments throughout the course of the season. Gold Coast are on the bottom at the moment. They were well and truly... I think, did we have a discussion about Stuart Dew going really well early in the year? And even the clubs up the top, West Coast, the Lions have had their moments, Richmond obviously, all for slightly different reasons. But we'd like to be playing better, not trying to sugarcoat that part of it, but we'd prefer to be playing our best footy a little bit later on.
Did you think you might have whatever it is ironed out by now?
Well, that was our hope, but we have got some other priorities as well. We're working on our game, so I'm not here to say, look, you know, it's all fine and it's all part of the plan. It's very difficult to orchestrate these things, you know, with perfect success. So yeah, but I think the answer to the question, we're not in a huge hole because we're really confident that we're working on some things that we'll see come through in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be playing good footy when it really counts.
I've written about it, safe football. Everyone's talking about safe football. Further looking at it today, and I had a discussion with a couple of people today, and you are playing safe football. You've been playing safe football all year and you're 11-1 and everyone's going, this is the style of football that you're going to go into the final series with after some recent poor finals performances. Is it the fact that your midfield, and you love your players, but is it the fact that your midfield is getting well beaten in some games, contributing heavily to these defeats and heavily to the accusation that your safe football is boring football and you're not scoring?
Yeah, well, I think there's some truth in it. I think if your midfield's really on top, it does give you impetus to play the game on your terms a little bit more. And our mids have probably been a little bit down. The way we're playing with the ball, I've said this a few times this year, when you're looking at a team do a certain thing, it's wrong to assume that that's all part of the plan. So we're clearly doing some things we'd prefer not to be doing or be implementing what we're trying to do a little bit better, and we think we can iron those things out. But on the weekend, we had a lot of good players who have been really, really good for us this year who had bad days, and that's been a little bit of a trend. Look, and there's a chance that it may continue as well. We're not... you know, we can't be certain that things are going to turn around really quickly. What we can be certain of is that we've got a plan in place. That plan's been in place for quite a while. It hasn't gone perfectly, but it hasn't completely gone off the rails either. So another way to look at it is, if you ask me going into round one, do you think you'll be on top of the ladder with 4 games to go?
At round 20?
Yeah, I didn't have that confidence then. So still, we're really excited that the good work we did in the early part of the season's got us in a position where we control our destiny.
Right, and everyone's had injuries and et cetera, and I put a list in the paper today of, and they're called ranking points, but it's just in a judgment of who's down. Of those, there's Rowan forward, Dalhouse forward, Hawkins forward, Ablett forward. 4 of the top 5, and Parfitt probably plays midfield forward. So five players have dropped considerably in the forward line. Is it the midfield? Is it the slow ball movement? Or are clubs working out that you are going slow and setting up better? Is it, or a combination of all that?
It's always a combination. So it's a little bit the way the opposition play. And over the course of the year, teams get a better idea of how to counter certain teams. I think we played into some teams' hands to an extent, probably the Hawthorn game a few weeks ago.
In what way?
Well, I think the way they defend is really successful against teams that do go slow, and they can pin you in your back half a little bit. And we gave them every opportunity to do that. So that wasn't part of the plan. The forwards in particular, I mean, we had 43 entries on the weekend. I mean, we had 10 in the first quarter, which is not enough, but we were pretty efficient going inside 50. It looked as if Hawkins was in for a really big day, and we just couldn't get it to him after that. So I think the way all phases of the game work contribute to how the other parts go. So if you're moving the ball really slowly, you're getting done through the midfield, then your forwards don't get much of a look. So early in the year, not that we're trying to replicate what we were doing early in the year necessarily, our game has evolved, and there are some parts that have devolved probably, but we were getting it into our forward line and we're really efficient. Those guys are winning contests and scoring a lot. So we're confident we can get back to that. But it's much more multifaceted than if we play a bit faster, we'll be fine.